Alright, let's dive into something that's got the entire film community buzzing: Zack Snyder's recent return to the Warner Bros. Lot. If you're like me, your first thought was probably, wait, what? This is the same studio he had a pretty public and bitter falling out with back in 2017 over Justice League. So, seeing him back there, posting on social media like it's no big deal is, well, it's fascinating. Personally, I think this is one of those moments where the drama behind the scenes is almost as compelling as the movies themselves. What makes this really interesting is the timing. Just a few years ago, Snyder was calling Warner Bros. Aggressively anti-Snyder. He was worried they'd retaliate against him for supporting the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut movement. And let's not forget, this wasn't just a small fan campaign, it was a full-blown cultural phenomenon. But here he is, back on the lot, hosting a screening of Excalibur, of all movies. If you take a step back and think about it, this feels like a symbolic olive branch. Excalibur isn't just any film, it's a movie Snyder referenced in Batman v Superman. So, is this his way of saying, hey, we're cool now? Or is Warner Bros. Trying to bury the hatchet? One thing that immediately stands out is the reception he got. According to reports, Snyder received a hero's welcome. Fans were there, studio execs were there, and apparently, some even stood for a Q&A. This raises a deeper question: has the studio genuinely moved on from the past, or is this just a PR move? I mean, let's be real, the executives who clashed with Snyder over Justice League are long gone. The current leadership, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdy, weren't part of that drama. So, from my perspective, this feels like a fresh start. But it's also a calculated one. Warner Bros. Knows Snyder has a massive fan base, and they've been struggling to find their footing with the DC universe post-Snyder. What many people don't realize is that Snyder's return could signal a bigger shift in the industry. Studios are always looking for ways to capitalize on proven fan bases, and Snyder's fans are nothing if not loyal. The hashtag Restore the Snyderverse movement is still alive, and his Netflix projects, like Rebel Moon, haven't quite landed the way he or the streamer hoped. So, could this be Warner Bros. Testing the waters to see if there's still an appetite for his vision? Personally, I think it's a smart move. Even if they're not fully committing to bringing back the Snyderverse, they're at least acknowledging its impact. A detail I find fascinating is the speculation around his Escape from New York remake. If Warner Bros. Is distributing that, it's a clear sign they're willing to work with him again, just not on DC. And that's where things get tricky. Snyder has said he'd only return to DC for a Dark Knight Returns adaptation. So, unless Warner Bros. Is ready to greenlight that, this feels more like a business arrangement than a creative reunion. If you ask me, the real story here isn't just Snyder's return, it's what it says about the industry. Studios and creators are constantly navigating these complex relationships, and sometimes, they find a way to move past the drama. But it's never simple. This situation is a perfect example of how Hollywood works. It's all about timing, relationships, and, of course, money. So, what do you think? Is this the start of a new chapter for Snyder and Warner Bros., or is it just a temporary truce? Let me know in the comments. And if you take anything away from this, remember, in Hollywood, no feud is ever truly permanent, just like no superhero is ever really dead. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There's always more drama to unpack in the world of film.